Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing tips for replacing the EVAP purge valve on this 2019 Buick Encore with the 1.4 liter engine. If you find value in this content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Now let's get started. So the EVAP purge valve is located right here. Hose connection that cannot be removed, floats along here and then connects with the air intake right there. And there's one connection right here that goes back towards the gas tank and it pulls vapors from the gas tank. And then in the rear you have your electrical connector. Some of the symptoms associated with the faulty EVAP include possible open circuit, or it could just be that the sensor is faulty itself. They do give out from time to time. The sensor may be clogged, rough idle, difficult start after fueling. So if you fill up your gas tank and the car won't start, and what's happening is you're getting uncontrolled flow from the tank, causing too rich of a mixture. Poor fuel economy. It's running very rich, and so you're going to be burning extra fuel. If you went to your tailpipe and put your hand on your tailpipe, you'd have a black smut ring. You're going to have the ever-present engine code P0496. Our supply list includes just the valve itself. Look in the link below and I'll link this part with the number where you guys can purchase this part. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward with the removal and the replacement. Loosen this connection right here, and in order to do that you're going to have to just squeeze really hard on this plastic ring at the bottom. And so this is a two-handed operation here, so you're going to have to squeeze in as hard as you can, push down, and then pull up. So with your good hand, squeeze in as hard as you can, push down, and pull up. I thought I'd get it the first time, but I didn't. So once again, squeezing in tight. So I really had to put a lot of pressure on that. You might put some pliers on there, but you definitely don't want to break it, okay? Because this is an airtight seal. So, and there's the blade that it hangs on. So I'm just gonna wiggle, 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 pull it off. There you go. Now I have a little more access. I'm gonna work on this connection first. This is a vacuum connection. This is a lock. I'm gonna try to rotate it, but this right portion here lifts up. Squeeze it and lift it up. You could probably barely see that it's in the up position. And then you're gonna have to press down on this little tab here and kind of push both pieces together and pull them out. So press down, there you go. Now that tab is in the locked position. And what you're gonna do is put your finger here and unlock it. Notice the difference, okay? Locked, unlocked. Now that you have that, you can squeeze down on that little tab in the middle. Once again, squeeze everything together and then pull it out. So press down, squeeze together, pull it out, just like that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the EVAP purge valve. What we have here is, once again, we have flow direction coming from the gas tank and flowing across and into the air intake. So airflow is flowing that way. And if you look here, there's a nice convenient arrow right there on the front of this, okay? And it tells you the direction of flow. So what you could do to test this without taking it off the vehicle is that you could start the car, right? And then disconnect this connection right here, leaving that connection connected, okay? And then everything is connected except for this connection. Start the car, and this should start to tap, especially if the car is cold, okay? And if I were to do this test, I would do it in the morning or when the car is cold, it's been sitting for a while, because that's when this kind of kicks in and it enriches the fuel mixture until the car comes up to operating temperature, right? And so it kind of says, okay, here's a little more gas to get this thing started. And then once it's started, this shuts off, right? It shuts off unless you're in certain driving modes, maybe in cruise control, and it'll say, okay, we'll allow some of the gas tank vapor to bleed into the system, right? But I don't know exactly how that works, but I know it just doesn't build up until the next morning. So it comes on intermittently to enrich the fuel mixture, and that ultimately saves fuel, okay? So with this plugged up here, that plugged up there, and it's click, 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 click. If this is working properly, it should hold a vacuum. Now this is a index card, but try it with maybe a receipt, a paper receipt. And if it holds a vacuum, that means this is working fine. Or it may just barely hold it, like doesn't hold it that much. And that may indicate that it's clogged. And see if you could put maybe a little mass airflow sensor spray in here, clean it up. And it could, if it's dirty, which I doubt because you're getting nothing but fuel vapors in here. But if it's dirty, you may dislodge it, and actually it might work for another 6 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. But eventually, if it threw the cold once, it's gonna throw it again. Okay, I've had cars that it seems like every 24 months I'm replacing these, and I don't know why, but that's just how it is. I think because it's a pollution control device, it's very sensitive, and so I think that's part of it. That's why you have to replace them so often. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this reinstalled on the vehicle and get this video wrapped up. So in reverse order, I'm going to install my electrical connector. Taking note that orange gasket is not deformed. It looks great. The lock is in the out position right now. I'm gonna lock it on, listen for the click. There you go, that's locked. Next thing I'm gonna do is loop that around through the back, kind of line up this connector, and I'm going to slide it onto the blade. There you go, slid right on. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and make this connection first over here. Okay, and it's a nice flat top. Just put your thumb on it and locks in place. Listen for the click. There you go. Lastly, I'm gonna make this connection here. And you notice that you can see this lock, that is the lock position, that's the open position. So it needs to be in the open position when you get ready to install it. So push it all the way up on there. You heard the click. I'll do it again. There you go. And you lock it down. And there you have it. Well, folks, that wraps up this video on the removal and replacement of the EVAP purge switch on this 2019 Buick Encore with the 1.4 liter engine. I hope you found my tips to be helpful. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, drive defensively.